And now to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., President Trump's nominee for Secretary of Health and Human Services, expected to face tough questions in his Senate confirmation hearing getting underway this morning, as his cousin, Caroline Kennedy, speaks out against him in very personal terms. Our senior political correspondent, Rachel Scott, is on Capitol Hill with the latest. Good morning to you, Rachel.
Robin, good morning to you. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is one of President Donald Trump's most controversial nominees. Just hours ahead of his confirmation hearing, right as he was making the rounds here on Capitol Hill, his cousin Caroline Kennedy sending this scathing letter to senators urging them to reject his nomination. This morning, as Robert F. Kennedy Jr. prepares to face senators at his confirmation hearing, his cousin Caroline Kennedy is speaking out against him.
I've known Bobby my whole life. We grew up together. It's no surprise that he keeps birds of prey as pets, because Bobby himself is a predator.
Caroline Kennedy, daughter of President John F. Kennedy, reading the letter she wrote to senators, urging them to reject her cousin as the next Secretary of Health and Human Services, calling him unqualified, with dangerous and willfully misinformed views on vaccines.
Bobby preys on the desperation of parents of sick children, vaccinating his own kids, while building a following hypocritically discouraging other parents from vaccinating theirs.
If confirmed as the head of HHS, Kennedy could have a major influence on America's vaccination efforts. In recent months, he has said he is not anti-vaccine, but for years he pushed false and unfounded claims about vaccines, even though they are widely viewed as safe and credited with saving lives.
There's no vaccine that is, safe and effective.
Caroline Kennedy is also accusing him of trying to profit off of vaccine misinformation.
Bobby is willing to profit and enrich himself by denying access to a vaccine that can prevent almost all forms of cervical cancer and has already been safely administered to millions of boys and girls.
But she says it's his personal qualities that pose even greater concern, calling him addicted to attention and power.
Unlike Bobby, I try not to speak for my father. But I am certain that he and my Uncle Bobby, who gave their lives in public service to our country, and my Uncle Teddy, who devoted his long Senate career to the cause of improving health care, would be disgusted.
As that letter was sent to senators on Capitol Hill, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was making the rounds. Any response to any of those allegations from your cousin saying that you're not fit to serve? If confirmed, Kennedy would lead an agency of 80,000 employees and a $1.7 trillion budget, dealing with everything from drug approvals to food recalls to responding to the next pandemic. Some Democrats deeply concerned.
I have interviewed many people for many different jobs, for many cabinet positions. It was by far the strangest I've ever had.
With Democrats opposed, Kennedy can only afford to lose 3 Republicans.
So a number of the concerns that I had with some of the information that had been reported on him, I thought he did a good job of explaining.
So Caroline Kennedy says that she was reluctant to speak out because she was serving as the U.S. ambassador to Australia, also because she didn't want to comment on any ongoing family challenges. But now she says she felt an obligation. And Michael, this morning, sources tell us that Vice President J.D. Vance has been working the phones, making calls to senators, trying to get RFK Jr. across the finish line, Michael.
Caroline Kennedy said it was scathing. Thank you so much for that, Rachel.